Northbound to Seattle and stop between. Once again, welcome aboard. Ladies and gentlemen, if you please remain at your seats and your accommodation till our conductors will scan your tickets. Once your tickets are scanned, you are free to walk around the train. Cafe car and the dining car will make announcements once they open. Dining car will be serving lunch and dinner. Both meals are by reservations only in the dining car. And I will be coming through the train for reservations right after our first stop of Bob Hope Airport. So if you'd like to have a reservation for lunch in the dining car, I will come to see you after Bob Hope Airport. Welcome aboard.
Once you finish that, you're done for the day.
Está abierto acá de este lado, mira.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it's Kyle from the Cafe. Folks, Cafe is opening up at this time. We're located in the center of the train, right on the lower level of the lounge car. It's called in the middle of the train with all the windows. You'll find me downstairs, plenty to choose from. Snacks, beverages, adult beverages. Folks, I ask you to wear your shoes at all times while walking around the train. If you don't have them on, that's a situation. Just maybe do have your shoes on. And with that being said, please wait until the conductors have scanned your tickets. It's very important that they do that. Once again, the cafe is opening. Please feel free to come visit me once the conductors have scanned your tickets.
Metro and train yard. Go look. Here's the barn. You see the barn? We've got these covered.
we go. Now arriving Burbank Airport. We're now arriving Burbank Airport.
I don't know. Probably around 12. Actually, I guess, well, he said we were late. So we probably after that. Yeah, that's a different train. Well, it was supposed to, I don't know exactly. It was supposed to leave at 10:10, but they said it was running late. Well, that's when it was supposed to be. But the conductor said that we were late, somewhat late getting out. Well, see, that's what I was afraid, that's a different train. That's a different train, yeah. But like I say, it may be a little later than that, since he said that we were running late.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, sleeping car passengers, if I may have your attention.
No, it's later than 10:10. He said
Shortly,
we were
I'll be
running
coming to
late.
see you for lunch reservations. So if you please open your doors and curtains. Sleeping car passengers, please open your doors and curtains. I will see you for reservations shortly.
Yeah.
Right after that, I'll continue for the business class and coaches. Take care.
Yeah, well, I'll call you, when you want me to call you at,
Mexico? South of
Yeah, south of Sweden is
Mexico?
Yeah, totally. Now, sir, it will be the first sleeper car or the fifth casters. Oh, yes.
Okay, you can get a hot dog. You can get a hot dog.
Yes.
Natural Angus burger. That's what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get a cheeseburger. You can get a cheeseburger or you can get a hot dog. Or mac and cheese. Which one's that? No.
Hi there, you guys. You guys are joining me from
I also been once on the Tequila Express, which is its own private rail car, but that's all, everything is self-contained. And that, to make a long story short, billionaire owns that car, but it's not in LA anymore. I don't see it. So they're trying to limit, from what my understanding. Are you from England?
South of Sweden is Mexico, like you said.
Got it.
How are you?
But if you ever get the chance, go a private rail car. You'll spend the money on it. You'll have a great experience. They were charging, I think, about $6,000 a person going from Kansas City to LA.
Oh my God.
I know it's expensive, but
It's too rich for my taste.
if you got it, go for it.
Yeah.
I've been on cruise ships, been on trains, planes, so I've traveled Europe. I gotta clear my phone so I can take some pictures on it.
Super Ghost Highway. Wow. Think there's any great whites out there, Brucey?
That was good. I was trying to get a room in Vancouver and I couldn't find a hotel room, and I finally called this one place up. So we got a space and shit on YWCA, but I had no choice.
Oh, wow. So why is it so, what's going on in Vancouver?
I guess it's because the 4th of July weekend.
Airbnb? Have you ever looked at the Airbnb?
I didn't look at it, but most of the places they wanted was like $400, $500, $300 a night. I'm like, no. So They said we got one room for 130. I said I'll take it.
More ice tea?
I can use some more. Sure. Thank you.
On your way back, can I get some more ice?
Sure, more ice.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive down there. Well, actually, let's see. But you're looking at 130 Canadian, 25% off of that, so it's probably about 115 for me or 100. Not too bad. Oh, that's one of the You're talking a bed, B&B, one of the private rooms. I did look at a couple, and I called one of the numbers up and they didn't answer. I can call international or I want for free, and I'm like, I couldn't reach them, so I just said, nah, I'll trust this.
I wonder if that water's cold. Paddleboarding out there, yeah, they've got wetsuits on. Look at them, they're surfing. If you're sentenced to life, you're going to be 35 years
Yeah,
until you see a parole board.
yeah.
That's life. Capital life. Now, my client that I'm representing right now from I think I'm very close to negotiating a 20-year cap.
Yeah.
So he'll see a parole board in 10 years.
Yeah.
So if I can negotiate 20 years for him, well, that's a victory for me because my client will at least have a chance to get out of prison and reclaim some type of his life. Versus, if he said, well, let's go to trial.
We have a lot of shipping through the Santa Barbara Channel. By the way, does anybody know how the Santa Barbara Channel got its name? Show of hands. A lot of people think it's because the city of Santa Barbara is next to the channel, but the channel got its name in 1602 when the explorer Vizcaíno was making his way up the coast. And they had just gone through a bad storm and survived, and it happened to be the feast day of St. Barbara, so they named the channel Santa Barbara Channel. Then a few days later in December, they were going around Point Conception, and they named that one Point Conception.
What kind of a shoe is that?
This, somebody saw dolphins? So that craft out there in the water there is a part of the Clean Seas operation. Clean Seas was started as a result of an oil spill here in the Santa Barbara Channel in 1969.
Ladies and gentlemen, 130 reservation. Please make your way to dining car. 130 to dining car, please. And ladies and gentlemen, I really kindly appreciate it if you wait at the door to be seated. 130, thank you.
As a result of that oil spill, the oil companies agreed to keep ships on standby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with booms and other equipment to contain any oil spills in the future. And the most recent use of that Clean Seas operation was when we had an oil spill that actually came from a break in a pipeline on shore that got into the water down by Refugio. That was in May of 2015. And it fouled the beach pretty well. People were out there with toothbrushes cleaning it all up. So it's all better now.
If you look back on the ocean side of the train, you can still kind of see a big red barn. That's owned by the Hollywood guy, James.
It's still in, there used to be a light here called the Arguello Light, and the little settlement that was here that grew up was called Our Light. That's short for Arguello Light. There actually people lived here. There was a little train station here. Kids got on the train and went to school over in Lompoc, which is about 20 miles from here. But the radio beacon is still active.
So on the mountain side of the train, you can see Space Launch Complex 6 or Slick 6. This was going to be the launch site for the polar orbiting missions of the space shuttle. The tall communications tower rising up from the mesa to our right is also part of the complex. The facility was mothballed following the Challenger shuttle disaster in 1986, but was put back into service for new uses in the 1990s. We will be able to still see it. Let's take this a little bit further ahead, but just to give you a sense of how massive this building is, when you can see the American flag on the side of the building, note that the stars are 6 feet wide and the stripes are 8 feet wide. It's now being used to launch the Delta IV family of launch vehicles.
Okay, things happen really quick in this area. Remember I was telling you about the radio beacon at Point Arguello? Well, when that was put into service, but very shortly after that was put into service, there was a wreck right here. This is called, those rocks out there are called destroyer rocks, and this is Honda. It's on the night of September the 8th, 1923. There were 14 destroyers from the Pacific Fleet's 11th Squadron. They were skirting the coast, returning to home in San Diego from an event called Fleet Week in San Francisco. The ships were engaged in an engineering speed test, and they were traveling at 20 knots in tight formations. As they approached the Santa Barbara Channel that night, the fog thickened, making navigation difficult. And the squadron commander aboard the flagship Delphi took readings from the new radio transmitter at Point Arguello. The readings indicated that his ships were still north of the point, but the commander didn't trust the report and thought that his ships had already entered the Santa Barbara Channel and were getting perilously close to San Miguel Island. So, at 8:30 p.m., the commander ordered the Delphi to turn to the east, thinking he was turning into the channel. Tragically, his dead reckoning placed the ships 20 miles off course, and instead they were heading directly toward the shore. 5 minutes after the course change, the Delphi smashed into the rocks here at Pedernales Point, also known as Honda. 6 more ships followed that leader into tragedy, and still hopelessly confused, the commander believed that they had struck San Miguel Island. There were 23 sailors who lost their lives in the disaster, and most were from the destroyer Young, which had overturned on the rocks. Most of the ship's remains are still on the ocean floor here. It'd be interesting to note that everybody that was involved in that tragedy was court-martialed, including the 7 ships that did not make the turn and stood off and saved themselves. The commander, however, did not survive the court-martial. And they heard that disaster from Point Arguello. And people that were living there were the first on scene to help the sailors. The railroad was here, and they brought blankets and food and supplies from the city of Lompoc, which is about 14 miles from the coast. So the railroad did help in saving those sailors from that disaster. This was September the 8th, 1923, just shortly after World War I. between 1880 and 1900.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our next station stop of San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo is your station. Now the good times are looking around, gathering up your personal belongings, and making your way downstairs. San Luis Obispo, come right up.
So we were just passed by our sister train, the southbound Coast Starlight, number 11. Zoe and I are going to pack up and get off the train pretty quick, but before we do, we would like to thank Amtrak, the National Park Service, the South Coast Railroad Museum, and you for your kind attention today. And your applause. Have a great trip.
We're now arriving into San Luis Obispo. Once again, we're now arriving into San Luis Obispo. San Luis Obispo is the next fresh air break. If you'd like to step off the train, you may do so. But once again, please do not go on surrounding shops or stations. Stay near the train. Listen when the conductors give that all aboard. Once they do, please immediately get back on the train. Listen for that train to whistle off. To give that all aboard, once you immediately get back on the train. The conductor doesn't go with or without you. So you need to make sure you're on the train. Running up at the last second, trying to get on the train. Starts moving, it keeps moving. All right, here we go. Now arriving, San Luis Obispo.
This is the horseshoe curve.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now rolling into San Jose. Once again, in San Jose is your station stop. Please check around and make sure you have your personal belongings before exiting the train. Now, right in San Jose.
Hey, let's go downstairs instead of the table down there. I'm not feeling good. I'll be back.
wait till I will invite your passengers boarding here in San Jose. The dining car is still pretty full. So please tell your passengers boarding in San Jose, just wait till I will invite them in. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is San Jose, folks, San Jose.
come down, not the church.
They guess it? What? Oh, like why I have to do it?
Yeah. I know gas prices.
Yeah, my parents don't really want me to drive myself. Yeah, I don't know why. They say that they trust me, but they don't trust other drivers. But I don't they trust me.
I mean, it's the highway, so you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, I've made the drive before, but always with somebody. Like I've driven with my grandma. I've driven with Sean before, but like, I've never done it by myself. I'm guessing there's stories about that. But yeah, I've wanted to drive myself on many times when I'm not. Because a lot of the time, like Kings is doing something, or my parents are and they can't take me, but like I'm not doing anything, so I can come up. But they won't let me drive myself up.
One day.
Yeah.
When Noah and I learn how to drive, he's gonna drive you.
Alright, come and get me.
Yeah. We'll go over to. Dude, how come we can't remember where you
Just
said?
a carp.
Dude, Carpinteria, oh my gosh, dude. It's just voice cracks.
You just think carp is fine. Everyone calls it carp.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, our next station stop in 10 minutes is going to be Emeryville. If Emeryville is your station stop, please check around and make sure you have all your personal belongings before exiting the train.
Nice place to be.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, 10 o'clock is quiet time. We ask that you please put all your cell phones and stuff on vibrate so it doesn't wake up other passengers that are trying to sleep around you. Also, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to our night stops such as Chico, Reading, and Dunsmere, you need to be underneath your seat if you're back there in coaches or business class. Underneath your tag that says where you're going to so that the night crew can wake you up and make sure you get off at your station stop. If you are not underneath your tag in your seat, they will not wake you up. Then you will miss your stop. So please make sure you're in your seat underneath your tag if you're going to Chico, Dunsmere, or Reading.
Like, if it like tips over.
Once again, 10 o'clock is quiet time. We'll not hear any more
It would
announcements.
definitely get close to coming
Once
off.
we leave Emeryville,
The weight would
it is
probably
40
make part of
minutes
it
into
fall off. So,
Martinez.
yeah.
If you're going to Martinez, it's 40 minutes from Emeryville. Once we leave Martinez, it is 40 minutes into Davis Station, if you're going to the Davis Station. And then once we leave the Davis Station, it's 15 minutes into Sacramento. There is no more smoke stops. Please do not get off the train and smoke at any of these next stops. You need to wait until you get to Sacramento. We'd appreciate it. Coming up, 10 minutes, Emeryville. Ladies and gentlemen, last announcement from the dining car. Ladies and gentlemen, dining car will reopen tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. for breakfast. No reservations needed. First come, first serve. So 6:30 a.m. First come, first serve. You don't need reservations. Have a good evening. Good night. Thank you.
Can we just like keep it inside? Yes.
I don't know if we can or not. I don't know if it's Oklahoma, but I might want to do this station. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Your what? You are? Cool. And you too? You are just perfect children.
Good, how are you?
Thank you. You hear our train coming?
Woohoo, train's coming. Oh my goodness.
I can't see it.
I didn't know. The train is coming. Nobody else. I'm going to tell you at 3 o'clock.
Hear it? It's exciting.